A 13-year-old middle school boy finally works up the courage to confess his feelings to a girl he likes. What happens next shocks him in front of everyone and leaves him humiliated. But instead of letting that moment define him, he makes a choice that will change his body, his mind, and his future. Years later, at a major university ceremony, their paths cross again, and the past comes knocking at the exact moment his life is shining the brightest. Chapter 1. The day he spoke from his heart. I still remember the way the hallway sounded at lunchtime in middle school. Lockers slammed, shoes squeaked, and voices overlapped like a noisy wave. At 13, everything felt public, like every mistake came with an audience. He was a quiet student, the kind who tried to be invisible. He did well enough in class, but he never raised his hand unless the teacher called on him. He carried his books close to his chest and walked with his shoulders a little rounded, like he was trying to take up less space. And yes, he was overweight. The girl he liked was the opposite. She moved through school like she owned the place. She laughed loudly, talked easily, and always seemed to have a circle of students around her. When she smiled at someone, they felt chosen. When she ignored someone, they felt erased that he had liked her for months. Maybe longer. It started with small things. The way she spoke with confidence, the way her hair caught the light when she turned her head, the way she seemed fearless. That day, he decided he was tired of being scared. That he waited until lunch, when students gathered in the courtyard. My heart hurt for him when I saw him step forward. His hands shook a little, but his eyes were steady. He told her he liked her. He told her he had for a long time. He asked if she would give him a chance. For a second, everything went quiet. Then she laughed, not a nervous laugh, not a surprised laugh, a laugh that invited others to join in. She looked him up and down and said loud enough for everyone to hear that she would never date a fat boy. She made it sound like it was a joke that he even tried. The courtyard exploded with reactions. Some students laughed. Some looked away. A few stood still, uncomfortable but silent. He stood there frozen. His face turned hot. His throat worked like he was trying to swallow something too big. And then he did the only thing he could do. He walked away. Chapter 2. Pain turned into a promise. Humiliation can do two things to a person. It can shrink them, or it can sharpen them. At first, he did shrink. For days, he avoided the courtyard. He took longer routes through the hallways. He kept his head down. In class, he stopped trying. Not because he was lazy, but because it felt pointless to try when the world had already decided who he was. Then one evening, he sat alone in his room and stared at himself in the mirror. Not with hatred, with exhaustion. He realized something that changed his life. He could not control what people said, but he could control what he did next. That night, he took out a notebook and wrote a simple plan. He didn't write dramatic promises. He didn't write revenge speeches. He wrote steps: wake up earlier, walk then run, drink water instead of soda, learn how to lift weights safely, study 1 more hour than yesterday, repeat even when it feels slow. The next morning, he started running before school. He couldn't go far at first. His lungs burned, his legs felt heavy, and his thoughts tried to pull him back into shame. But he kept moving. A few weeks later, he found a small gym and met a coach who didn't treat him like a joke. The coach treated him like a project worth believing in. He taught him form, patience, and consistency. He reminded him that results come from boring effort repeated over time. At school, he stayed quiet, but he wasn't invisible anymore. Not because people suddenly respected him, but because he started respecting himself. He sat closer to the front. He turned in assignments early. He asked questions. He began to act like his future mattered. And the truth is, the more he trained, the more he studied, the less the laughter from the courtyard mattered. He wasn't chasing her approval anymore. He was chasing his own potential. Chapter 3. The years that built a new life. Change is not a single moment. It is 1,000 small moments stacked together. Months passed. Then years. He didn't become perfect. He had days when he overate, days when he skipped training, days when he felt angry that life seemed easier for everyone else. But he always returned to the plan. By the time he was finishing high school, his body had changed, yes, but what impressed me more was his mindset. He had discipline. He had self-control. He had pride, not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that comes from doing hard things when no one is clapping. He earned strong grades. He applied to college. He got accepted into a university that demanded effort, focus, and real commitment. At the university, he found his rhythm. He trained with purpose and studied like his life depended on it. He joined sports programs and academic groups. He made friends who liked him for who he was. Not for what he could give them socially, that's also where he met his girlfriend. She wasn't drawn to him because he was popular. She was drawn to his consistency. She saw how he treated people, how he kept promises, how he worked without needing attention, that he didn't talk much about his middle school humiliation. He didn't need to. That story had already served its purpose, that it lit the fire. Now the fire had become a steady flame. Chapter 4. The Ceremony and the Unexpected Face. By 23, he had a reputation at the university. Not built on rumors, but on results. He was recognized for remarkable development as both a student and as a sportsman. He had improved, grown, and performed in a way that inspired other students. Coaches respected him. Professors trusted him. Younger athletes asked him for advice. The day of the award ceremony arrived, and the venue glowed with warm lights and polished floors. The room buzzed with families, students, and university staff. His girlfriend sat near the front with his closest friends, smiling like she already knew how much he deserved it. He stood backstage, adjusting his suit, breathing slowly. Then, in the crowd near the entrance, I saw her. The girl from middle school. Now 23, she looked older in a way that wasn't about age. It was about where. About choices. About time spent drifting instead of building. I later learned she hadn't even graduated high school. Her path had been full of excuses, shortcuts, and blaming others for what she never finished. She spotted him and froze, like the past had suddenly become real. And then her expression changed. She began moving toward him with a bright smile that didn't reach her eyes. The kind of smile people use when they want something. She tried to talk to him like they were old friends. Like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't laughed in the courtyard while he stood alone. She complimented him loudly. She hinted at meeting up later. She acted impressed, interested, proud. But it wasn't pride, that it was opportunity. Chapter 5. Self-respect is the real prize. He listened without interrupting. His face stayed calm, but I could tell he remembered everything. Not with rage, with clarity. When she finished talking, waiting for him to welcome her, he answered in a steady voice that he told her he appreciated the congratulations. Then he told her something even more important. He didn't forget how she treated him, and he wasn't interested in reconnecting. No shouting. No insults. No scene, just a boundary. She tried to laugh it off like it was all childish. She tried to step closer again, like she could negotiate her way into his life. He stepped back. Then he turned toward the people who had been with him through the real work. His friends, his girlfriend, the coach who had once treated an insecure kid like he was worth effort. He walked away with them, trophy in hand, surrounded by real support and real love. And she stayed behind, watching the life she could never access, not because he was cruel, but because he had finally learned the lesson that changes everything. You don't prove yourself to people who enjoyed your pain. You build yourself for the people who respect your growth. And most of all, you build yourself for you. If this story motivated you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video, and hit the like button because it truly helps the channel grow. Comment what part hit you the hardest, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder that discipline can change everything.